The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pizza's and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Suku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we want to thank you for getting up bright and early with us today. Jackie, how you feeling? It's Monday. It's the first Monday show of the new year.
Good morning. I feel great. I don't know what that was, but I feel good. I feel good. I had a great weekend doing next to nothing, and it was perfect.
Hey, well, she kind of, like she said, next to nothing because she coached myself and my friend on Saturday, and that was great vibes. It was very enjoyable. I actually felt some of the pain the day of, like later on in that day. And then the next day, I definitely felt it. So,
Like in your arms?
Yeah, definitely in my arms. My left one, because, I was picking up the eggs with the left arm.
So who?
Eggs, man. So, little inside joke before we let you guys know what we have planned for you today. So when we were picking up the bowls to put them back in the basket, Jackie was like, yeah, egg and spoon. And I was like, huh, these are tennis balls, Jackie, what are you talking about? She's like, the game, the race you used to play at sports day. I was like, oh yeah. So the entire session I'm calling these things eggs. So
yeah, balance them on your racket, egg and spoon. That's how you pick up balls.
Exactly. I was like, sis, these are not eggs. But good morning to you, Kathy Rogers. And as you're joining us, we want to let you know that today's feel good topic of the day, we're going to be talking about mental health and some tips to get you out of your comfort zone in 2022. The new year has just started. So if you have some goals, probably going to push you out of your comfort zone, we're going to be sharing some tips with you on that. So make sure you stick around to participate in that conversation. And as always, if you want to laugh to get your morning started, make sure you stay for our feel good vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jackie. And now that we've kind of let you know, we set the stage for what the day show is going to entail, let's get warmed up with our question of the morning. We want to know, social medias have been buzzing. We want to know, how do you feel about Bermuda's COVID-19 response since the Omicron variant has reached our shores? Now, you will hear me call the Omicron variant Omarion or Tristan Thompson. It's the same thing. I'll explain why a little bit later. But Jack, how do you feel? Because like I mentioned on Friday, we actually talked about Bowden Gate and how Dr. Karika Bowden has tendered her resignation as of the end of this month, January 31st. And it seems like everyone is testing positive.
So there's this meme that says, if you don't know, if you don't have any friends that have COVID, you don't have any friends, or something like that. Or if you don't know anybody that has COVID, you don't have any friends. Either way, I giggled because everybody has COVID, and I'm just sitting there like, so far so good. Too many close calls. Social distance. Why are you so close? Where's your mask? Why didn't you sanitize your hands? Why are you so close? Because it's like you could like just walk past somebody and boop, you got it. So.
Exactly. And like the amount of close contacts, and we'll actually be having the president of the Bermuda Football Association on later on this week to talk about, Bermuda's current domestic league and how I've seen one game has been postponed. I think the most recent one was like the 5th time or the 6th time. I've lost count at this point, but it's flip-flopping between one team has, a certain number of positives before they can actually, cancel or postpone the game. Yeah. And it's like, that's just one kind of bucket, one bubble of people, not to mention,
Can you
how
imagine people that aren't testing, that are just going about their day like, I feel great. Nobody's called me. Moving along. And they're just like, passing past the touchy on the left hand
they're
side.
literally passing this variant around. And I think just recently, want to say as recent as yesterday, there's like a mutant variant between Delta and Omicron. So they had a baby, and now we have yet another variant. And I just feel like the way we have handled it since, because it transmits faster and it has milder symptoms compared to Delta and even compared to Alpha, it's like we're just like free for all. We're floating
You know
it
what's
right now.
crazy? Like hearing that the variants, they're mutating, but they're weaker. It actually gives me hope that we're moving beyond the pandemic eventually. Because what do you like? You can't keep quarantining people just because they have a stuffy nose and they're not hurting anybody else. Because we don't quarantine for colds. People definitely don't quarantine for flu. And right now, people are like, "Oh, I'm sick. I feel like trash, but it's not COVID, so I'm coming over your house." And I'm just like, "No, you're not." Because before COVID,
You wouldn't do that.
you wouldn't do that. So please, let's remain vigilant in that and don't come.
And it's really because, and not taking away anything that has happened over the past 2 years, because the flu is also a deadly virus. Like, let's not forget, I feel like because we have COVID or coronavirus, that's kind of been our focus, but there are other similar viruses that are just as deadly that we have found a way to navigate. And I'm not saying now that we've been here for 2 years, everyone can kind of free for all, but we should all, I think it's come up multiple times on multiple conversations online and even in person, is like personal accountability has to come into the conversation. Like, sure, we're cracking jokes about the fact that we don't see the premier, or we don't see the health minister, or we don't see
how many
certain
times they're gonna tell you to
the same
get
thing.
tested, get vaccinated if you want to or are able to, and quarantine. If you don't feel well, stay home.
And so that's
I don't have to tell you this every single day. You know it. If you want me to tell you every single day, go back to the clips because they're still available and watch them yourself.
And it's so funny. Like, I feel like at some, like, there's a level of petty where, like, you just like clip yourself. Like, you just go to the part of the video where you said it multiple times and you just copy it from every single video and you just create this new video where it's like, and now it just transitions between each of them. And it's like, you'll see my different outfit so that I've said this not on more than one occasion. So I don't know what else you need from me, but here's the audio clip that you can set as your ringtone so that you're reminded, because I don't even feel like how we're responding to it is solely on the public health system or even on our ministers. It's on us.
It's us. We're a bunch of children, and our mom keeps telling us, "Don't touch the stove. It's hot. Don't touch the stove. It's hot. It's hot. It hurts. Why you didn't tell me?" What?
Am I invisible? Can you see me? Do you see me?
Can you hear me?
I see we have a comment here from Janae. She says, "It's crazy. I'm so over it. Blessed that I haven't contracted it." And I agree. And I feel like regardless of whether you contracted it or not, it's still your personal responsibility to limit your movement if you can, because there are people that work in certain fields where they can't limit their interactions with other people by the nature of their job, and that's fine, but you have other ways to protect yourself. And I just feel like at this point, how we're responding to it is based on how over it a lot of people are. And it's unfortunate because it's like, it's not going anywhere. Like, get that through your head. It's not going anywhere.
But like, the positive side of everybody getting it is now everybody has antibodies. So even those that aren't vaccinated, they're getting their antibodies in a way that, for most that I've spoken to, they don't even feel it. Most of them didn't even know that they had it. They went to get PCR tested. Like, for example, some teachers have gone, they feel great. They go to get their PCR test to go back to school. And they're just like, "Oh, by the way, you're positive." And they're just like, "Huh?" Like, not a sniffle, not a scratch. I worked out. I feel great. But you have the virus. And you're spreading it.
Spreading it for real. But speaking of, because we had a conversation over the weekend during the tennis session, we were talking about how someone had thought they had Omicron, but they actually had symptoms of Delta. But now that there's this mutated variant, it's like maybe they actually had the Deltacron or whatever it's
It is
called.
Deltacron.
Deltacron, like maybe they had that and didn't realize because it just got its name like yesterday.
Or the one before that, the one that's with the flu and
the corona some I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Flurona? Flurona?
We're gonna call it Flurona because that sounds funny.
Oh my god. I don't know. I just think about it like the this spread right now just reminds me of a few years ago when we had the stomach bug and I was wiping through the schools, and if it wipes through the schools, it wipes through the homes as well, because somebody's got to take care of the child. And I remember just being on my backside with that. So the way everybody has it right now, I don't know. I'm hoping that
I think I don't have any friends because I haven't. I mean, I do know people that have become positive and close contacts, but it's definitely. I'm grateful that, like Janae, I haven't contracted it, and I'm knocking on wood and praying that I don't, because I don't necessarily need to experience it personally. I'm good, but I do want us to all. I think the message, kind of, as we wrap it up, is personal accountability. Like at the end of the day, whatever you can do to protect yourself and your family, do it. Don't just be over it and say forget the rules. Like be over it and still be cautious, because you could still get it at the end of the day, or you could still infect someone and not know it.
And not everybody can handle a cold right now.
Exactly.
I haven't had a cold in how long? I don't know how my body, or the flu, how my body would react.
Exactly. So still make sure you get your daily exercise, drink your water, eat your full, well-balanced, nutrient-dense diets. Jacky and I are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our Feel Good topic of the day. We're talking about mental health tips for those of us that are going to be getting out of our comfort zone this year, which should be every single one of us. Jacky and I will be right back.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. And if you're just joining us, please take a minute to share this episode wherever you're watching, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Jacky and I appreciate you watching us live, but we would also appreciate it if you shared it with someone in your circle. We're going to be talking about, for our Feel Good topic of the day, mental health tips to get you out of your comfort zone. Now, Jacky and I came across an article, and I have the link. LA Times. I was like, where was this from? LA Times posted 5 mental health tips for us to explore in 2022. And Jacky and I want to share this with you today, but we also want to get some of your feedback. So let's start off by finding out, what do you do when something moves you out of your comfort zone? Like, let's talk about what we're currently doing when we feel uncomfortable. How do we either get back to feeling comfortable or just pushing through this uncomfortable feeling, this discomfort? Because I always say uncomfortable and the word is discomfort. So Jack, what's one thing you do when you're like pushed out of your comfort zone?
You should try it. There's 2 things. I either take a step back into my comfort zone and like have a beat, have a pause, and I analyze how it made me feel. Like if I take a moment, I'm just like, wait, that was actually fun. I enjoyed it. I'll do that, and then I'll go back into it. If I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me, then I'll take a moment, maybe find a buddy to go back into the situation with, like, just in case. Because, for example, when I wasn't sure if I wanted to do pill or not, I was nervous as chucks, and I had put on
chucks in a while.
I say it every time. I had posted on Twitter that I'm starting, and see if anybody wants to do it with me. And my cousin was just like, sign me up, I want to do it. And we were both nervous about it. So we had our uncomfortable buddies and we went and we nailed it, and we fell in love with it, was addicted with it. But we were able to, when we had those moments where we're just like, oh, we can't do this move or whatever, we were able to talk and encourage each other to go back and try it anyway, pretend like nobody was watching us. Okay, it's like a little secret. Okay, do it.
And that's really cool, because one of the things that it talks about, so when we talk about, that could be a mental health challenge when you think about, I think we talked about it with Renee, the self-doubt, and then it becomes self-sabotage, but it's always good to like have someone, not only that you could do it with, but you might just have to be the one that kind of starts the conversation if you put yourself out there, and that could be discomfort to some people, or uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is a word. It is a word. It's just the way you use it. All right. Having a whole grammar moment.
Makes you feel uncomfortable or causes
Yes.
discomfort.
Either. I'm having a whole English class in my head right now.
I see it.
It's bugging me because like that's not the right way to use it. But I wanted to come to this tip. So it's actually tip number 3. So we're probably going to do these tips out of order because just the way the conversation flows. No, it's just the way the conversation flows. Because one of the tips that they had given was to destigmatize mental health challenges. It starts with you. So like you might have to be the kind of first person to kind of step out of your comfort zone to encourage others. To encourage others and maybe give them, at least a buddy, like you said, because sometimes we want to do things and we don't realize that other people want to do them too. And then if you just put it out there, like you might find, hey, we might not do this alone. We might actually be able to create a little group, a little tribe, a little whatever the case may be, to all push ourselves out of our comfort zone and then still be supported and then ultimately probably create a new comfort zone.
Exactly. Love it.
Which is great. So if you're just joining us, Jacky and I are discussing, getting out of our comfort zone in 2022. So we want to know, what are some things you do to get outside, or when you get outside of your comfort zone? How do you deal with it? What do you do when you do get outside of your comfort zone? And I know for me, like Jacky, I do take a pause because I'm a thinker. So as she mentioned, like even when like I'm having moments where I'm talking and I'm like, that's not the right way to say it, and I'm literally thinking while I'm talking. I do that often, and so I like to take a pause, like Jacky mentioned, because sometimes it's trying to decide, is the self-doubt me saying I can't do it because I don't want to do it, or is it because I haven't done it before? I don't have any evidence. Like when they talked about, and I loved when she said evidence, like to see that I've done it previously, or even to see that someone else has done it. So even in the case around pole dancing, like to see that I have a friend that has done pole dancing before and they too are enjoying it, or they too are overcoming whatever challenges they may experience. And so it's not my evidence, it's not my story yet, but I see someone that's close enough to me that I can, I can lean on, or I can even ask a question, or I can say, hey, would you like to do this with me? So I like to pause. Pausing for me is probably the theme for 2022 because I don't normally pause. I just like go, go, go.
I do
You get
it. Take a moment, breathe, analyze, good.
And I think another tip that kind of came up was personalizing your mental health care. And I think I can't remember who we talked about it with, but I do know that we talked about like, creating something that I think it was it Dr. Adrian? It may have been Dr. Adrian.
She has the little boxes.
Right. And so she was mentioning how like, it's definitely based on age groups, one, but then it's also based on, what works for you. Because some people might be sensory where they need to feel it, where others of us may be auditory, we need to hear it, or we visual, we need to see it. And I think that that's really important. So like, what's your kind of like personalized mental health care kind of regimen, Jack, when you're out of your comfort zone? So we talked about the pause, but like what else do you do?
What else do I do? I am that person that cracks a joke because it's awkward and I have to release the tension. So we're all going to have a quick jokey joke and laugh. And what usually makes it awkward is always that one person that doesn't laugh. And it's just like,
you didn't get it?
Either you don't like me or you don't like to laugh. But either way, you can stay with it.
Now you've made the situation uncomfortable.
Yeah, why did you do that? I know it's funny. Just giggle a little. No, but I am, that is my way to lighten the mood. I have to crack a joke. I will bring out whatever was awkward. So I'm like, well, that was awkward. I have to announce it. And then I laugh. And then I feel better. Laughter is definitely my number one trick when it comes to my mental health and helping myself with my comfort. I've tried a lot of different things, and when I messed up, I'm just giggling. I'm just like, well, we expected that since it's my first time.
And I love that too, like recognizing, honoring that, like if it's the first, like if you're stepping out of your comfort zone, whether it's the first time you're stepping out of your comfort zone in general ever, or if it's the first time you're doing something new, kind of just acknowledging that, okay, this is the first time. So if I don't get it right, that's okay because this is the first time. And I think that's actually a good kind of like, I guess, mantra, affirmation, something to say to yourself when you are like, when you are out of your comfort zone. It's like, hey, I am trying something new. This may go the way I want it to. It may not go the way I want it to, but that's okay. I'm going to laugh it off or I'm going to try again.
Yeah. Find the comedy. Like, life is serious enough as it is. Don't make it harder. Find a little joke. Find the comedy in it, the humor. A good sense of humor goes a long way.
And they say laughter is medicine, right? So it definitely, you don't have to be a comedian. Like, you don't have to be up there cracking all the jokes and making everyone laugh. But finding the humor, like Jackie just said,
I'm not
finding the
saying be
humor
the class clown. I'm just saying break the tension, lighten the mood. When most times, everybody in the room feels pressure or awkward or whatever the case may be, uncomfortable, Terry's word. So crack a joke, laugh, and then move on. It's a good way to bond, and then it'll make everybody feel comfortable, and then you can move on, making yourself uncomfortable to grow.
Another thing I like to do is, like you just mentioned, which is actually just acknowledging a mistake or mishaps. Like, literally, I just said her live. I am struggling with discomfort and uncomfortable. I know how to use them, but I am struggling. But instead of like, beating myself up or getting down about it, I'm just like, hey, I'm human. It happens. I know how to use the words, but for whatever reason, right now, it's
Monday.
it's Monday blues. It's just a little difficult for me right now. And there might be someone that, says like, yo, sis, sometimes I struggle with those two words too. Like, I know I'm smart. I went to school. And for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. So don't take yourself too seriously. Like, just allow yourself to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's in your comfort zone, but we're definitely encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone this year because it's a new year and there's new things for us to explore and experience because, yes, we talked about Omarion and the Tristan Thompson variant previously, just making their rounds around the world. But you too can make your rounds around the world and still be protected. Like, you don't have to necessarily, because Jackie's been away a few times and she's enjoyed her time. And I think certain cities in the US specifically have certain mandates, whereas others don't. And even other countries have certain mandates. And at the end of the day, personal accountability. If you want to wear your mask, wear your mask.
My mask. And so, fun fact, talking about uncomfortable and going out of your comfort zone. I haven't done ice skating since I was 14. I'm 33. So I got up there and I was just like, I'm going
2 decades.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to fall on my backside. I know it's going to happen. But what did I do? I started off with baby steps. So I started off by one, getting on the ice and holding onto the side. And then I was just pulling myself. And I was like, all right, so I'm getting the groove again. And then I started to push off. So take baby steps. And then I moved a little bit away and I went faster and I practiced my stopping and going and boom. I'm a full-on ice skater, figure skater. Not really, but on the way.
In her mind.
I just got ice skating rink in Bermuda and we're golden.
Didn't they have one at one point? Like, they tried to do something.
Yeah, but apparently it wasn't like real ice. It was like wax. I don't know. I didn't go down there. I didn't get to make it.
Oh, I honestly thought it was. I think I saw it either when I was away or like getting ready to go away, so I didn't really know. But I just remember hearing this idea of an ice skating rink in Marina. I was like, that's dope if it can stay frozen because it gets hot. It was hot like 2 days ago, and then it was cold, and then it was hot again. So the ice might become slush. Yeah. So you're looking for a slushy, so you might be able to get yours from the ice skating rink. So speaking of the kind of new thing that you did, was not really new because you've done it before, but it's been a while since you've done it. What are some other things we want to try that are going to be new to us this year? So audience, let us know in the comments something new you want to try in 2022. I'll go first since Jack already kind of shared one of her new things, even though it's 2021, so she has to have a new thing for this year.
I'm thinking.
She's thinking, well, I'm going to try out adult bar. So adult bar class, it's like ballet, but it's not ballet per se, and it's for adults. And so So one of my goals is improved flexibility because, as you know, as a pole dancer, it is good to have more mobility and flexibility when you're doing your moves. And so instead of just relying on pole and even yoga, my friend found a bar class for us to take. And I'm excited because I've wanted to do bar. I started it when I was in Atlanta and I was the only one. So I didn't stay because I didn't have friends that wanted to go with me. But now that I have a friend, like Jackie mentioned, someone to experience it with and kind of get out of my comfort zone, because I think my friend's already done like this type of stuff before. So she's kind of familiar with it. I am not. So I'm nervous because the last time I got into the split pose, I pulled my hamstring.
Me
So
too.
I am like, so when you think about like, getting out of your comfort zone and like that negative self-talk, I'm literally in the back of my mind, like, well, the last time we hurt our legs, so I don't know. But hopefully with my instructors and actually allowing myself to listen to the instructor, not necessarily listen to my ego trying to say, I can do the splits, I'll get there. So that's one thing I'm trying new this year that I have never done, but I've never been taking ballet. So I all new.
Off the top of my head, because I always want to be able to do a backflip, I'm gonna see if there's adult gymnastics classes. So I'm gonna. Can you imagine me? So I used to do gymnastics in primary school. I think everybody did it.
I didn't.
You didn't have introductory. That's because you didn't have Mr. Custodio as your gym teacher. He is bomb.
Okay.
He made Flora.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Trying to get how Flora flowers.
He helped us, navigate and decide what sports. He doesn't had everybody in every sport. But I'm gonna be that adult that's learning how to tumble. But no, I want to learn how to do a backflip. So I'm thinking I might. That's scary. I can bring my back.
It's very scary, and I'm pretty sure. I mean,
I feel like I'll have. What is it called? Not supporters, but spotters.
Spotters. Okay.
I think I'll have spotters.
I mean, you would absolutely have spotters because they don't want you to get injured on their watch.
Sometimes you have a spotter, but I want spotters.
So you would multiple.
All right,
one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Okay.
And I think I'm going to take a trip by myself.
Ooh, solo travel. That's actually a really good stepping out of your comfort zone moment. Because like you mean like going to a place by yourself, no one's there that you know at all. Or as best you can, right? Because you never know.
Yeah,
there might be someone there.
Everywhere.
There might be someone there.
Bermudians are everywhere. I'll be down the street being like, yeah, can I get? And they'll be like, where you from? Bermuda? I'm from Bermuda. Hey! How it goes.
We definitely find each other wherever we go. We have a question from the audience, and just a reminder, if you're just joining us, go ahead and let us know something new that you're going to be trying out in 2022. Jackie and I are definitely getting similar things that we're going to be trying out. I'm going to be trying adult ballet bar class, and Jackie's looking for adult gymnastics. So if you are connected to the Gymnastics Association here in Bermuda and you know of the class, the information, share that in the comments so that we can get Jackie signed up for classes in 2022 because it's happening. We're gonna record this backflip. So we're gonna record the attempt to do the backflip, and then we're gonna record when she actually can do the backflip. And then
I do backflips off of boats, but I'm landing in water, and no matter how I land, I can sting up, and it don't matter. I can land on my neck, and it don't matter.
I mean, she shouldn't land on her neck because that sounds like an injury. It just sounds like
either went too far or not enough.
So we're definitely going to be looking forward. I'm looking forward to it, for sure. And so this question for us, Jack. Curious, what primary school did you both go? So I'll let Jackie go first. I think it's kind of
Royal.
Jeez, I was gonna say I think it's kind of obvious, given that Flora Duffy's story has kind of become not only national news but international news. But yes, Port Royal is a private school that Jackie went to, and I went to Bermuda Institute. So I went to BI, and so I don't even think gymnastics was offered as part of gym.
Yeah, I don't know what's like BI. I don't know because I don't go and teach tennis at BI, and they never said yes.
I don't know why.
And I'm like, but it's free. Yeah, no, like, but it's free. You know how expensive it is to play tennis. It's free. The opportunities are endless.
I mean, I can't say. So I did, we did the regular track and field. We did cricket, football, netball, and that was it. I think we just did like the basic sports that are familiar to Bermudians. This was my time. That was back in the 90s. I don't know what they do today, so I'm just speaking from my personal experience. However, I just like to be active. I never really settled on being an athlete. I just like the movement of GM. So it probably wouldn't have mattered, to be honest, if we had it or we didn't have it. Like I just, as long as I was able to do movement, I was happy. So I don't even think I missed it personally. But now thinking about Jackie's story, I'm like, man, it probably would have been nice to do gymnastics.
Yeah.
To
As
just
I'm
say I
sitting
did it.
listening to you talk, I've added to my list. I think I'm gonna try sailing, like
Ooh.
yeah, and archery.
Archery, now that's a dope one. That's actually kind of scary, just from like what if you fling yourself? Like, just, I don't know. I just think about the worst thing that can happen. Like, what if you let this sling thing go with it?
But it's
Hit
on
your
the
face.
side of your head, so it should, if anything, it'll scratch, but it's not gonna be.
I don't want you to get injured, but your instructors are gonna be great, and you're gonna do totally fine because you're a great coach. You're gonna get great coaches. That's
I'm
just how it is.
coachable.
You are very coachable. We have a comment from Janae. She says, the new thing that I will do is finally open a business instead of just thinking about it. I love that. Please let us know
Yeah,
all of
why
the
haven't you
details.
told us about this business that could potentially open? Like,
Let us know all of the details. Facebook message, Instagram
yes.
DM, Twitter DMs. Please, 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 please let us know. Well, actually, really quickly, as we're wrapping up this conversation, what is this business about? Maybe the industry, not necessarily the full-on details, but let us know like what industry we can look towards supporting you in, because as we wrap up, another thing around getting out of your comfort zone could be to see what local businesses are out there and just have conversations with people if you're someone who wants to start a business. I know when Jackie and I were doing our walkabout around City Hall, we popped up on Little Roads, Bermuda, and found out that the owner of that is the mother of Ashley's Lemonade, and just seeing how they were able to create two separate businesses in their own, specialties, gifts, whatever the case may be, and just still be successful, or at least have started something. I mean, we don't know what the end goals are going to be or the end results are going to be for things that we start, even when we get out of our comfort zone. But I think the main thing is to get started.
Agreed.
And I think even with myself doing tennis with Jackie doing pool, starting gymnastics, sailing, and archery. Yo, Jackie's gonna be booked and busy this year. Like, I don't even know. She's always booked and busy. So I don't even know her.
Excited because I'm gonna be booked and busy with like bettering myself. Do you know how fit I'm gonna be and how strong I'm gonna be? Somebody's gonna be like, Jack, I bet you can't do a like I get to like trick people into giving me money. I'll do a backflip for $100. You can't do a backflip. Bet you $100 I can. Boom, thank you.
But see, that's the type of thing where it's got to be like, we definitely have to spread it out. Like, you just can't, because once one person finds out that you can do a backflip, like that's not gonna last. So it's got to be on unassuming
people that they could beat me in tennis and they know that I could play tennis.
Okay, never mind. I really thought people were like, okay. I was thinking completely different from others, so I will leave that alone. Go ahead, hustle. And as Janae says, speaking of the family, Little Roads and Ashley's Lemonade, she said that family stays open businesses. They are hustlers. And later on in this week, Jackie and I are going to actually be talking about hustle culture and the fact that millennials are not subscribing to that particular newsletter, that magazine. We do not buy into that. And so Jackie and I are going to be discussing that later on in this week. And so congratulations to you, Janae from Roslyn Famous. And to wrap it up, Janae says, my business will be also intertwined with charity. So clothing and equipment for sports, definitely plan to support those in need. Listen, I will be hitting you up.
Sorry.
Because my club could definitely use some of that for sure, because sometimes you get players, athletes, people coming in that don't necessarily have all of the equipment, or they have equipment, but it's from like years ago and they've had a growth spurt since then, or something has happened where the equipment they used to have no longer is necessary. And even with Jackie, when we were doing the tennis on Saturday, my friend had a racket that was heavier than the rackets that Jackie had, and just even those type of things, like you might not necessarily have the right equipment for your current level or the next level you want to go to. And so I definitely think, Janae, that's a great business idea. Okay. I cannot wait to support. One final comment from Michael Anthony Musson. I love when people think they can beat me in tennis.
It's crazy. Like I play into it too. They were like, "So you think you could beat me?" No, I can't. Okay, all right. How much? And they were like, "How much?" I'm like, "Well, how much are you gonna play me for?" I teach
what
that
it's paying for free?
how much, and they were like, "I don't know, $50." I'm like, $50? Do you know how long a match takes? No. 500 to $5,000 cash, and I just like, I was just joking. I'm like, well,
Guess you can beat me.
guess not. I've had some people that are still trying to like book in that match. I'm like, I'm ready whenever you are. No, I'm gonna train a little bit more. Cute. Well, whenever you're ready, I'm here.
People really think. I mean, it's like interesting. Like you. I mean, and okay.
Because
So
they're
maybe.
athletes and they think that it
Mhm.
translates and transfers into everything else.
Well,
Now,
one thing I was gonna say is like some coaches are not athletes. Like some coaches have never played the sport. They just understand the sport and they know how to coach the sport, but they can't necessarily play it. So maybe they're thinking that you're one of those people. But tennis doesn't feel like a sport you can coach without having played it. You don't have to be the best, but you gotta at least know how to. You gotta at least play it. Like you gotta show the students what to do. Like
yeah.
there's been times when Jacky has told me to do something and I didn't do what she said. And if she didn't show me, I would still be doing it wrong.
Yeah,
So
demonstrate.
I'm just like, there are some sports where I could kind of see where you don't necessarily have to show or demonstrate, or you can get someone else to demonstrate. But
I don't know. I just
shout out to people that think they can beat Coach Jacky at tennis because better you than me, because I will not take that bet at all. Never, not me. As we wrap up, we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we'll be back with our feel good vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jacky. Make sure you stick around if you want to laugh to get your morning started. Jacky and I will be right back.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio. Home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terry Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. And before we get into our feel good vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jacky, I just want to bring in this comment from Janae Jack. She says she wants to try tennis too and get her kids involved as well. So sign her up. Make sure you hit up Jacky.
I do have children's sessions for sure. Like we have group sessions, but we also have adult, beginner, intermediate, and advanced group sessions as well. After work, during the day, weekends. We have it all, kids.
So make sure you hit up Lambert Island
Tennis.
Yes. Yeah. I know it's lit. So I'm like, you know me, that's how I am. Whenever I have an acronym, I'm like, all right, you already got the first letter, sis. So you're already halfway there. You just need to get the rest of it. So Jacky good. Congrats. Kudos to Jack. The Lamberts are the best with kids, so you don't have to fret. Janae,
we haven't lost a kid in us.
You don't have to fret when it comes to Coach Jacky and your little ones, as well as yourself. I can attest. Jacky has been really helpful, and like I said, you definitely feel the burn afterwards. But enough rambling from me. I'm ready for joke time with Jacky. So audience, if this is the first time you're joining us, or if you've been here for a while, you know what to do. Just drop your reactions in the comments to Jacky's corny jokes, or if you're watching on Facebook, use the laughing reaction on Facebook. Over to you, Jack. I'm ready.
Okay. What do you call an espresso with a coat?
I don't know, but I feel like it's gonna be so funny.
A coffee.
I knew it was gonna be funny.
It's so corny. Okay, what is an owl's favorite toy?
An owl's favorite? A who? A who? I don't know.
Say it.
I was gonna say a who bear.
Oh, so close. A hula hoop. Last one. Why was the vegetable lonely?
Why was the vegetable lonely? I don't know. Celery? I don't know. Oh my
God. It had no pear.
Because some pears are fruit.
Oh, these pears are running.
Everyone loves the jokes as always. I live for joke time with Jackie because these jokes legit. Sometimes like you're like, all right, I can get this one. Other times it's like I know where it's going, but I kind of want to just listen.
So close with hula hoop. You're just like a hoop, and I'm like, say it.
I knew it had to be a who because that's what they say, but I was like, I don't know, I can't really get it. It wasn't coming to me. But as always, Jackie and I hope that today's feel good vibe of the day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda. We trust we'll see you tomorrow for more feel good conversations. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.